Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. We're going to start working on drag and drop functionality. I used AI to help me get inspired for it, but I realized that everything it did was bad. So we're going to go in there and undo all the AI work and start from scratch. So, I think for the time being, let's just, even though it's going to be a little bit of rework. Okay, let's make this bigger. Even though it'll be a little bit of rework, let's go ahead and redo the AI stuff. Is there anything here? No. Let's start here. Now I don't want to keep all of this, I just want to keep part of it. Here's what I mean. I don't want to keep, let's see, let's look at all the changes, I guess. I'm not keeping all of that stuff. I'm going to reimagine it. I'm not going to keep that stuff or those changes. Okay. I want to take the on mouse. Yeah, here's what we're going to do. Wait a minute. Let's go back. Bad drag and drop. All right, we're going to keep all of that and we're going to reset back to here. There we go. We're going to get rid of all of that and we're going to keep just the mouse events. So let's just take that. Okay. Now then, whoopsie daisy. There we go. I kind of feel like it'd be nice to have this kind of separated from here. Would it be worth the effort at this time? I don't know. I would like to have a drag and drop component I could just drop in though. That'd be nice. It needs an element to reference, of course. I don't know. But regardless, here we go. On mouse down. Actually, let's be honest here. What we really need to do is go down to where on-click event is. We're going to get rid of that. Yeah, just do that. Well, on mouse down equals EV on mouse down. No, you don't need to respell it for me. I spelled it perfectly. There we go. Okay. And then on mouse up. I suppose we also need one for mouse move. Alright, what I want to do is start from scratch here. See, it says it's a spelling mistake, but it's not. Cool. There we go. Now let's rename it to on mouse. Nope. There we go. It keeps fighting for survival. Again, not a mistake, but we'll get that working. Oops, daisy. Okay. Yeah, well that's the first problem right there. Let's get the types right. This is a mouse event. Why is that not working? HTML canvas element, HTML canvas element. Okay, I think we're importing things that we shouldn't be. Let's not import that from React. That'll fix it. Basically, the React events are named exactly the same as the built-in ones, and they're trying to take a built-in one as a reference. This is from TypeScript. So yeah, whereas this one is from React. Now I don't know if all of them need access to piece hitboxes. In fact, it might only be mouse down or mouse up. But we're going to have it for now, just like that. You can always remove it later, right? Okay. Now then, what we want to do on mouse down, what we're going to end up doing is splitting on click into mouse down and mouse up. And what I probably need to do is separate the idea of, probably want to separate the idea of interacting with the idea of, sorry, we want to separate the click events and all the drag and drop handling from the actual chess handling, right? The chess logic. Probably what I want to do is just take the events and report them and then do something with them. Anyway, we are going to start off though by adding, you know what, I'm going to split this. Sure. Let's go to the very top here. Oh wait, let's add a type here. Type move input mode equals none. Drag and drop. Or what would you call it? Click clack? I mean, click. Just call it click. All right. Of course, we're going to store that. Move input mode. Oopsie daisy. Now this will look familiar if you're watching yesterday or last stream, but I promise we're going to end up in a different spot. Basically, when we do it by hand, we have the chance to do things better and less confusing, right? And honestly, like, you can start with AI generated code and then debug it, but if you don't already basically understand the code, you have to take all the time to learn it anyway. And the easiest way to learn it is by writing the code from scratch, right? So that's why I'm doing it this way instead of trying to take the AI stuff. Now, if I were more familiar with drag and drop, it probably would be easier just to clean up the AI version. But since this is new territory, I got to learn it the hard way. You know, there's no shortcut for learning. You know, if it's something you can get away with not learning, then great. But since the AI didn't do it well enough, it did it well enough. The problem is it didn't understand everything I wanted, and it couldn't get all the details exactly the way I need it. And so here we are doing it ourselves. Now then, we're going to be copying some functionality from the onClick event handler, which I'm not seeing here. Let's close that up, I think. We'll just start closing things, getting them out of the way. Okay, great. Great. We're going to copy things from onClick into both mouse down and mouse up. I'll show you that. Okay. Right, well, if it's not the primary button, we don't care. Now what I want to know is, oh, we're just going to rename this to event. That's very reasonable, I think. Okay. Now then, we are going to need the offset. Probably for both of them. Yes. Okay. Now another thing we're going to need is the starting position. Const. What do we call it again? Click, drag origin. We'll call it that. Drag origin. Set drag origin. Equals. Use state. X number. We don't want to capitalize it. Y number. I don't know where that capital number comes from. That's why I don't want to use it. It's like not familiar to me and I don't want to rely on it. I just want to use what's built in, right? And we're going to start off with 0, 0. I just don't want to start with a null value, basically. I want to always have a value in there. And, you know, we never want to rely on this value that's here, of course. We want to always override it, but I don't want this to ever be nullable. I just want it to type check. So that's what we're doing for now. And here, on mouse down, I want to go ahead and set the drag origin. Okay, so then we have yeah. Set drag origin to offset 0 and y offset 1. I probably should change this to also be xy, but that's going to happen later. Now, what is going on here? Okay. We know it's not undefined at this point. No, it's not, because we just checked for undefined. Oh, throw not implemented. That's a kind of a problem. Let's get rid of that. There we go. I was completely ignoring that. Now then. Okay, so at this point we have our drag origin. Now, we want to actually try and identify a piece the same way we do it on click. Here we go, we're going to take this. Piece selected. Wait a minute, where's that come from? Oh, right. If we already have a piece selected. If we have something selected, it's not undefined, we do this stuff. Okay. If a piece is selected and we're doing mouse down, I think we should do nothing, right? If piece selected dot is any selected, return. Basically, that case will be handled by the mouse up event, right? See, an on click event and a mouse up event are basically happening at the same time. So that's why we're going to be skipping it here in the mouse down event. Okay. So then after that's done, we're going to go down here. We're going to find our targeted piece. Okay. Copy this in where we get our targeted piece. Excuse me. Hitboxes. Okay, there we go. Okay, we have our targeted piece. Now, we could set dirty squares at this point, but I'm not really sure when to do that. So what I'm going to do is just set piece selected. I guess setting dirty squares at the same time does make sense, though, if you think about it. No, it doesn't, because, well, yeah, it does. If we're going to handle this as a separate click event and not do drag and drop, we do need to set dirty squares. We need to add this piece to dirty squares. Okay. Right, so we're just going to assume that it's not a click event at this point. Now, we don't know if it's a drag and drop event yet. Right. So, Huh. I think the most sensible way to do this would be to check out, let me think here. I know last time I did it based on the distance someone moved. Like my plan was, if the piece has moved 10 pixels, it's a drag event. It's not a click event. But there might be a better way. Asking AI is not a great way. Let's try to measure how long it takes to click. Yes, let's try to measure how long it takes to click. Okay. So here we are in our streaming software, and we've got some time measurements here. I can't tell what they are, though. So I've got to figure that out first. I do want to record. I think this is 2 milliseconds. Or is that 2 seconds? I don't know. Yeah, I think that's okay. So what I'm going to do is record here and be quiet, and then just record my mouse clicks. I think that's what I'll do. Honestly, this might be easier to do in JavaScript. We'll try it this way. Wait a minute. Can you guys hear me? Yeah, you can hear me. Okay, I see it spiking. Yeah, whatever. Okay, we're not messing with this. I think we just took a couple chances on ending the stream right there, so let's not do that. Excuse me. Instead, let's measure in JavaScript, I guess. Where can I do this? A JavaScript playground somewhere. JavaScript playground. Sure, something like this. Gee, it's been a while since I've done this manually. Hang on. Okay. What is this doing? Why won't it select the browser? That's so strange. Okay, so document.getElementById. And let's actually add an ID to something here. We'll just take this paragraph. Add attribute. ID equals ident. Let's be very creative. Ident. Does that work? Probably it's inside of a frame, so it's not going to work. Okay. Where's our frame? Console. One of these guys. Maybe here. But I don't know what's inside of this. Oh, yeah. Well, that's not going to help us. All right, let's do it on our own page, where we have access to everything. I guess we may as well do this temporary whatnot right in here. Okay, so let's see, cursor. You know what, let me just do it by pixels, and if I don't like that, I can always change it later. I think that's the best thing to do, is just move forward and then come back and fix it. Because I just went 3 levels deep on something that I'm confused by and I'm not making progress on. So, yeah. Okay. All right, on the mouse up event, we're going to check the distance. Okay. Calculate the distance between offset from canvas and drag origin. Oh, look at that. Today I got the X and Y correct. That's cool. Yeah, and it figured out this is X and this is Y. Hypotenuse. Okay. It did a different algorithm this time. Okay, cool. We're just going to accept that is correct. It doesn't really matter. Honestly, it doesn't matter if we calculate the distance mathematically correctly. What matters is that the user experience is good. So it doesn't really matter. We're just trying to simulate a good user experience, right? We're just trying to use this. We're using distance as a proxy, right, to try to estimate what the user's intentions are, right? So we don't really care about the distance, we just care about what the user wants. So it doesn't really matter if that's mathematically correct or not. So it'd be nice if it is, because then we can label our things correctly. But yeah. We could just call it fake distance, I guess, or distance unsure, or something like that. Anyway, whatever. Moving on. If distance is greater than 10, right, so this only works. I need to set drag mode here. Yes. Well, no, I don't. At this point, we're not moving the piece. You can't see the piece moving. Yeah, we're just going to set drag mode here. Okay. If distance is greater than 10, set move input mode, drag and drop. And also, let's see. Here, instead of setting dirty squares, let's just do this. Set needs full repaint, true. Actually, we don't need to set anything there. Let's set it here. If mode input mode, move input mode. There we go. If move input mode not equal none, we're doing things a little differently today. Actually, let's just say if it equals none, return. I like that. Okay. Great. So we don't need to do that anywhere else. Honestly, I'm not seeing myself needing to set this. We'll set it here. Set move input mode to drag and drop. We have to set it to something other than none. We already know it's drag and drop here, right? So here's where we handle drag and drop case. And then we're going to return after that. Here we're going to handle click. All right. I guess we don't really need to separate. We're not distinguishing here in the code from drag and drop and click really, other than just by checking the distance. So I guess we only need two modes, clicking and not clicking, something like that. But we'll handle that later. It might get a little more complex when we try to handle actually rendering things. But for now, we're just going to make things work, okay? Now then, let's look back at onClick. If we have a piece selected, which isn't undefined, right, so at this point, actually, we need to check if piece selected, well, here we go, or move input mode equals none. In either of these two cases, we want to return. Okay. If piece selected dot is any selected, if there's nothing selected, or the selected one is undefined, you want to do this: set piece move input mode to none, and then return. All right, we're going to handle that as quickly as we can, get that out of the way. Now at this point, we know we have a piece selected. We have a place where we've clicked, right? We use that to calculate the distance. Okay. Now at this point, we're going to be putting the piece down somewhere. Actually, you know, this isn't relevant at this point. We don't care at this point whether it's drag and drop or click. We're doing the same thing either way. Yes. Okay. Okay. So, and the benefit here of setting move input mode to none is it releases this from full repaints. But this is going to do a full repaint every time. Is it? Well, no, it's not going to be every time. Oh, it's going to be on mouse move. If the mouse moves, we need a full repaint. But if the mouse doesn't move, we don't care. Right, we don't need to set needs full repaint every single time that the thing renders. That would just cause an infinite loop. We just need it when the mouse moves. Okay. I don't think we care about distance at this point. I was thinking we could check whether it's drag and drop here or click here, but we don't care here. Not yet. For purposes of rendering, we're going to care, but that's going to be handled differently. Okay, great. I'm feeling good about this. I feel like we got some things done. Wait a minute. This is wrong. Yeah, this is for, yeah, this can't be done like that. Okay. Move input mode should be drag and drop at this point, fine. I don't think this is helpful. I don't know what I was thinking. I do want to eliminate cases, but I don't want to eliminate this. No, this has happening here, right? Right, as soon as you click down on a piece, we can already select the right one. So let's go back. At this point, there must be a piece selected. Right. Okay, I see what I was... Okay, I'm getting there. I'm getting there. Okay, so... I assume we need all this stuff. Except for the return statement, we don't need that. Get rid of that. Okay, we're getting rid of that. I don't think we need that, because we're using needs full repaint. We're not going to use dirty squares anymore for piece movement, because we don't need to optimize right now. We just need it to work. This is where we choose to move a piece to the new location. Great. Okay. I'm not seeing anything in here we haven't replicated. So, this is great because now I've simplified the scenario. I had 3 scenarios. I simplified it into 2. Basically, the drag and drop and the drag and drop, click, and yeah, the input modes. I simplified those. Okay, well, we're going to have 2 new input modes, click or drag, or we're going to have 2 combined input modes. So let's fix all the errors now. Click or drag. I think that might be the only place we're using it. Okay, get rid of that. Yeah, okay. Interesting. We're checking for none equals none most of the time, so, or equals none rather, so we don't actually care if the other one changes. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, we're going to find out how this works. Let me review. On mouse done, we're checking for primary mouse. We get the coordinates. We set the drag origin. If there's already a piece selected, we return. I feel like maybe we should be doing this sooner. Yeah, if there's already a piece selected, we can skip all of that stuff. Right. In particular, we don't want to set drag origin and overwrite what's already there. Although, are we even using drag origin at this point? I don't think we are. I suspect we will be using this again, though. We've pasted this in twice, so I'm going to leave that alone for now. Okay. We're using the primary button. There's no piece selected already. We get our coordinates inside the canvas. And then we try to identify if we're clicking on a piece. If we can't find a piece that we're clicking on, we return. Otherwise, we're in click or drag mode, and we set the piece selected to the one we clicked, the one we clicked down on. When the mouse comes back up, if there's nothing selected, oh, yeah, here's where we need to check the distance. Okay. Okay. We might actually need to distinguish between clicking and dragging at this point. Okay. I'm going to do that again. Okay, let me write some code. If distance is greater than 10, when we mouse up, now this is click mode, not drag mode. Okay. Set mouse input mode, we're going to say click. Okay, let's get back up there. I keep changing my mind. Change find G to drag and drop. Okay. If the distance is less than 10, no. Yeah, if it's less than 10, we set set mode to click, and we're going to return at this point because we haven't actually moved the piece anywhere. That's what the distance was about. Okay, I'm glad it didn't delete this. We haven't moved the piece. It's going back to the same square it was in. So now we're returning. Okay. 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 Just a sec. I'm back. Okay. All right. So we need to handle this case separately. When the user wants to use click mode, right? If the user clicks on a piece, okay, let's go back to the pieces. When the user clicks on a piece and then releases their mouse without picking up the piece, that means they want to be in click mode. And then we click again to place it, right? That's the old behavior we want to reestablish. So, we set the input mode to click at this point because we're not dragging and dropping. We optimistically set it, so on mouse down, we optimistically set it to drag and drop. And then on mouse up, if we haven't moved very far, we set it back to click mode, right? Now, if it's in click mode, we need to do something different here. On mouse down, let's do it on mouse up, I think. Okay. Yeah. If any is selected, or mode, whoopsie daisy, input mode, move input mode is click. Right. If it's none, we want to allow it to proceed. But if it's click at this point, we want to skip it. Right. We want to skip those here. All right. Now, here, if it's click, we fall through. If there's nothing selected, when we do a mouse up event, if there's nothing selected, we just we figure out why are we here. Our move input mode is not none, but we don't have a piece selected, so that's an invalid state. We just get back to a valid state and move on. Now, otherwise, we either have a piece selected and we're going to place it because we're in click mode, or we want to select a piece. So either way, we need to do this calculation. Okay, now, if it's drag and drop and the distance is less than 10, we're moving it to click mode. Okay, that's important. And then we return. At this point, we know that we have a piece selected and we're either in click mode or drag and drop. Okay. Now, we do need to get the clicked indexed and we need to place the piece. At this point, I don't think it matters whether we're in drag and drop mode or click mode. This is the same, I think. We've picked our piece at this point. We did it up here. Okay. Oh, gee, it's so hard now. I don't know what happened here, but our system is not working the way I expected. Okay, that's working as expected. But not all the time. I have to click multiple times. Oh, I just realized something. Right here. Set move input mode to none, because we've completed our process. Yeah, I don't really get this, but whenever I switch, it's switching. Whenever I try to switch tabs, it's switching me to OBS. Cursor? That's just so strange. That's something I need to fix. Okay. But we will. Reload. Boom. Click it again, and boom. It's just slow. Okay. Performance issues are something we can fix. Fine. Now let's try dragging. Okay, we dragged over it. Now we did not. We didn't take the piece though. It really should have. What happens if I move the queen? Okay, queen, fine, put it there. We're not taking pieces now. Oh wait, I think we are taking pieces. We're just not, oh, yeah, that's the problem. We need to set that square as dirty, I think. Or we can just say needs full repaint. I think it's a painting issue. Let's find out. Let's capture the spot yet again. Oh yeah, there we go. As soon as we got our repaint, it was fine. Yes, okay. Perfect. Yep. Okay, that's what we want. Now the other thing is, when we drag, we want the piece to follow the mouse. Okay. And that'll happen. That'll be something we do. For now, though, I just want to commit, because this is working. It's like the minimum that we need to get it to work. It didn't require a bunch of weird, random changes that break things, I don't think. Okay, so we have this. We replace this with that. We add some more logic. We move this logic. And, okay, This all looks good to me. Board canvas, and this is a UX change, really. Add drag and drop functionality. Now, from the user's perspective, the click functionality behaves exactly as it did before, but it actually is implemented slightly differently, which is fine. All right, this is bothering me. I need to figure this out. So pardon me for a moment. I need to check out my settings and see what's going on here. Apps maybe? No. Multitasking maybe. Is this maybe what's going on? Maybe. Well, it says current workspace. Oh, current workspace is. Okay, I see. That's nothing that's going wrong at the moment. I feel like this would be the right spot. Oopsie daisy. I feel like this would be the right spot. Touch the top left corner to open the activities overview. I don't really use that, and it doesn't really work that well because it only works on one monitor, so that goes away. Yeah, I always have another way to do it. Okay. I don't know, my settings have just changed. I didn't update my software, so I really don't know what's going on here. What the world is well-being stuff? Oh! Interesting, okay. Shows me how much I'm using the screen. That's cool. Printers, color management, Bluetooth, network, none of that. If anything, it'd be here, or maybe appearance, but I doubt it. Nope. Apps, notifications. Yeah. Okay, well. Mouse and touchpad, doubt it. Maybe keyboard. Yeah, we want that to stay the same. We don't want that. Shortcuts, maybe? Navigation? I think I changed Alt-Tab. It looks like I changed it. Switch system controls. What's that? Control-Alt-Tab. Oh. I guess that's great for accessibility. Because if you want to open something up, you can do it very easily. Okay. Switch system controls directly. Control-Alt-Escape. It's really not as visible. But I think... Yeah, okay, it's not as visible. I think it does the same thing. Switch windows directly. Alt-Escape. I mean, I'm really worried about the order of things, honestly. Switch to workspace on the left. Super page up. This is not something I've tried. Oh, I have. Okay, I guess I have, just to use a different keystroke for that. Oh man, okay. Switch windows of an app directly. Okay, that's going to have to be for later. I don't know what's going on with it, but maybe I just need to restart my computer. I don't know. Not used to having these kind of issues here in Linux. Okay, anyway. This works just fine, but what we want to do two things. If we're in drag and drop mode, we want to render the piece. Let's add a new thing called render piece selected. Const no. Let's change our selected piece to have a position. Piece selected. Where is that defined? Up here. Position. It's going to be relative to the canvas. Okay. Right then, we need to set that everywhere. Position is going to be 0, 0. Here we actually have the position. Position. We're going to set the position to the mouse click position, okay? Offset from canvas. Here we go. X is offset from canvas. Y is offset from canvas. 1, 0, comma. There we go. Perfect. We need to change this to be return the same kind of value, but anyway, whatever. Set piece selected. Where else are we using it? Is any selected? False. Position. It doesn't matter what we set it to at this point. Okay. And yeah, the piece is getting moved, so it's going to render properly again. Now then, let's add a new function to render the selected piece. But on mouse move, what we want to do is if move input mode equals click, then we're done at this point. Otherwise, if it's drag and drop, we want to do this. Set selected piece position, set piece selected, dot 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 piece selected, and then position is going to be X event dot, oh wow, we need to gather that information again. Here we go. Zero, 1. Okay, great. So this way we can constantly update the position, and then we're going to render it. Let's look at our use effect here. We want to paint whatever the user's doing, we want to paint that last, because yeah, paint selected piece also. I love how that to do is something that AI just decided generously to give us. Okay, let's remember what this is, debug painting. Okay. Set piece selected. Oh, set piece hitboxes, sorry. Paint selected piece. Okay. Context and piece selected. We're just going to pass those two things in. I don't think we care about anything else. This can go at the bottom. Great. Let this go by the other painting functions, though. Okay. I don't think there are any painting. Oh, there are no painting positions below that. So this is the last one indeed. Let's put this below it. Okay. Just going to call it props. const context pieces selected equals props. Here we go. Now what's this error about? All destructured elements are unused. That really shouldn't be a problem. We can use them now. Now, I think what I want to compare this with is, well, let's just go from here and then come up here. I think I want to compare it with paint piece. We need the color of this piece. Is that information in piece selected? I don't think it is. Piece position. No, it's not. Okay. So we need that passed in as well. Okay, well that didn't help me. Okay. How do I know the color of the selected piece? Yeah, you know what? The piece selected needs the color, I think. It's weird that I'm just adding that now, but oh, come on now. Okay. Well, yeah, we're just going to store that there. Set piece selected. Color. We're just going to say white. Doesn't really matter what it is. Did we do something wrong? Oh, piece color. Okay. Now, do we know the piece here? I suppose it can be derived from the position in the game, right? I don't necessarily need to query that during, well, I mean, querying it during a user event is better than querying it during render, to be quite honest with you. So it's better to do it now. I was going to say it makes it unresponsive, but if you think it's going to be unresponsive here, it'll be even worse in the rendering routine. Well, I know that I found color before. Let's get rid of this. We just need 2. I know I found color before. Color equals. Color word more words equals. Where was I finding that? Was in that in move piece? Let's look there. Yeah, here's where we're moving the piece. Okay. Maybe I'll have this return the color then. Yeah, I'll have this return the color of the piece. That sounds great. It's going to return piece color because it has access to it. Great. Oh, there are early returns. Okay. Well, in that case, we need to return a failure. Or undefined. Return, that's undefined. We're not returning here at all. Okay, so, oh no we are. Wait, this is return my real color. That works. Alright. Alright, Crail. And my real color could be the wrong one since we have so many options for collar here, but yeah. We have captured collar, opponent of captured. Yes, opponent of captured, that's a collar as well. I think my real collar is the right one. It's pretty descriptive, that's for sure. Find piece at, yeah, okay. Yes, there's no reason to do that more than once. We'll do it when we're moving the piece inside the mouse event, the user mouse event, okay. And then that information will provide const piece collar equals, okay. Yeah, I don't know what to do if it's undefined, quite honestly. We're just going to specify white there. Oh. Because we don't really have an option other than to throw, and we decided not to throw, so there you go. I guess if the piece collar is, if the piece collar isn't defined, if piece collar is undefined, return, right? There's nothing we can do here at this point. We should go ahead and set move input mode to none. And set piece selected to something empty. Same as here, I guess. Oh, wait a minute. Floss, nothing selected, so we don't need piece color to be anything in this case. We're barking up the wrong tree, but this is where we're moving the piece. This is a problem. We can't wait until we find the piece to choose its collar. So this is utterly wrong. How much of this do I need to undo? Can I maybe get away with... is there a shortcut here? We do need to store that there. We're keeping that. Sure. We're keeping that. Keep anything you don't recognize. That's something we need to change, actually, where it says piece color white there. Here we want it to be like that. Okay. Yeah, here we want to change this. Discard that, discard that. Yes, it can return the piece color, but we basically just need to repeat the same operation. All right, cool. Get rid of that. Because by this point, we've already completed the movement, right? There's nothing we can do. At that point, it's too late to use it for rendering. Here, this is where we need to set the piece color and find it. Okay, so let's search for collar. Okay, apparently we need access to the game to do this. And we have the targeted piece already. Oh wait, do we not have a position here? It's a hitbox. Oh. Oh. Okay, we need piece dot position, right. Hang on. Okay, well we got to go real soon, folks, so we might not get this done today, but we're going to get close. Now, if this is undefined, I think we can just ignore it, basically. Set move input mode to none. Oh, we haven't set it to drag and drop yet. I don't know that we need to set anything here. I'll do it if there's a bug that comes up. Right. Then we have collar. Well, let's be more descriptive here, I guess. And we are going to use it now. Perfect. We just need to pull in the game, which we can totally do. On mouse down. Game does not exist in type index number. What? Oh, well, huh. I get it. I don't know what the index number thing is about, though. And also, isn't this a closure? So many questions. Okay, so let's go back. Here's our game. Let's just pass it as an argument and not think too hard about it, to be quite honest with you. I don't want to think hard about it. No, but we really don't want to... No, we really don't want things messing up here. This is a game. Find piece at index. Do we have a different definition of it? Is that what the problem is? Okay. We have find piece at index. It's the same one, I think. Okay. Okay. Great. Okay, what's a found piece? As a piece in collar, I feel like we should probably make collar more fundamental where we add it to the pieces so we don't have to search for it. It's clear we're working around a limitation of our data types when we use this here. Because the only thing we use this for is to collect the collar of a piece. So it's clear we're working around limitations. Yeah, because we already have a piece, we use that to search. Well, not really, but I guess if you have the index for some reason, this could be useful, but we're basically using it to find collars. That tells me this data type is just needs to have collar added, which we can do. I talked a big game about how keeping it separate could be useful, but it's just really annoying, and I'm not seeing any benefit from keeping it separate, to be honest. Find piece at index. Okay. I don't know why this isn't working. Object literal may only specify known properties and game does not exist in the type index number. Find piece at index. Well, wait a minute. There's the problem. Oh, we don't have to pass the game in. Right. It already knows what game it is. Right, we don't pass that in. That tripped me up because here you pass in the game, but here you don't. And I see the reason. Probably. Yeah, right here. Here's the reason. Right. Okay. That's going to be handled for us. Great. And that really does make sense for the API. It's just I was trying to use this internal function, which is not the API function. Okay, got it. If the collar is undefined, we return. This is mouse down, so we don't really need to do anything with mouse input mode, I don't think. I'm tempted to set it to none at this point, but yeah. But here, if it's none, we're returning, so I don't think that's right. There's no piece there. We should treat it the same way as we should. if the collar can't be found, we should treat it the same ways that the piece isn't found, because the bottom line is we have incomplete data. Okay, yeah. Yep. Okay. Okay. Right, I kind of lost track of what I was doing. I don't see any errors though. Let's make sure and save, and then let's check it out. We have 5 minutes left at most. Okay. Let's get her done. One mouse move. Right, that is kind of different. Okay. Right, I think the difference was in the paint function. Right, when we're painting, we need to know. Oh, I don't think I have enough time to do this. That's okay. Paint piece at. Okay. Oh, paint piece, that's the one we want. Paint indices, almost there. Here we go. Okay, we're gonna need the same per piece offsets, honestly. We're gonna embed those. We need to add that to our to-do list. Whoopsie daisy. Embed per piece offsets into the grid asset. Hopefully I know what that means later. For now, we're just going to assume it's right, and we're going to carry on. Here it is. Okay. We don't actually want the same offset, do we? We don't want any offset at the moment. Okay. This is going to be different, but hey. It's going to be piece selected dot position. Oh, that's an XY coordinate. Oh, right. What we really need here is to get the position relative to the... No, okay, we already have the index directly. That's what this position is. Yeah, this is going to be like this. Position. Yeah, that's it. X, oh, whoa, hello, undo. X, Y, right? Yes. I don't know why it's giving me errors about unused stuff. It doesn't, yeah, it's not an error. We don't want to round trip at this point. We don't have enough time to think about that. Get piece rect. I think we still need this. Yeah. X is XPX. Y is going to be YPX. XY with height. Get piece rect. Wait. Piece selected dot piece. Uh-oh. Selected dot piece. Here we go. Color. If piece selected dot selected. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to go, but we are going to just try to hurry and close this out. I hope you all enjoyed it. If piece selected is undefined, we're going to return. That should get rid of some of our errors here. Piece selected dot color. There we go. Now all we got to do is render this thing. Okay, well, we're going to copy all this stuff. I think it's going to be fine. I don't really know. Why is that not working? Oh, I misspelled it. Fine. Easy fix. Okay, this should start working then. Let's try. And honestly, there are changes I probably want to make to that, but let's just try it like it is. Okay, yeah, there are definitely changes that need to be made, but it's fundamentally working. Right. Yeah, okay, great. What happens if I click? Yeah, it's fundamentally working. It needs some polish, but great. That's where we're at, folks. That's where we're